How developed are the vocal skills of the Izna members, both individually and as a group? Will their collective abilities meet the standards within the 5th generation of K-pop so far? EK Cristobal presents Izna pre-debut vocal analysis. Disclaimer. This analysis is based on my understanding, and the assigned potential positions are judged solely within the comparative standards of Izna members. Let's begin. First and foremost, Coco's vocal skills were not prominently showcased in Island 2, as she was primarily marketed as a dancer and rapper. Thus, this analysis is limited to what she has demonstrated so far. The good thing though is that Coco can actually maintain pitch and remain relatively relaxed, particularly in her speaking or comfort range. This represents a solid starting point for improving her vocal skills, as mastering one of the basics is essential for further development. Approach-wise, her singing features a light vocal quality and a noticeable nasal tone that affects the openness of her sound. She would benefit from developing core engagement and proper breath support. It is essential to effectively engage the diaphragm and core muscles, as this provides the necessary air pressure and control for a fuller, stronger sound. Without this, the voice can sound thin, unstable, and lacking in power, depth, and strength, which can result in a more fragile sound. Notice Coco's high note in Final Love Song. It's a C5 note, but there's some pitch instability while trying to prolong it. This suggests there is a struggle on maintaining consistent breath pressure and control. Additionally, she tends to tense and push in that part. Using too much force or not relaxing the vocal cords properly can lead to a strained sound. Moreover, this can often result in a forceful sound rather than a steady, controlled one. Effective breath support should come from a balanced use of the diaphragm and core muscles, not from pushing air forcefully. The way her rap and dance skills were honed throughout the show indicates that she is being prepared for these dual roles in Izna. However, I sincerely hope she will also be given the opportunity to refine her foundational vocal skills to ensure this aspect of her abilities isn't left behind. It would be ideal to assign her lines that fit within her comfortable range, allowing her voice to shine more effectively. Moi shares similar basic skills with Coco, such as maintaining pitch and sounding relaxed while singing, as shown so far. Personally, she sounds best when singing within her speaking range. However, both need to work on developing breath support and effectively engaging their core muscles and diaphragm. In the show, Moi was able to showcase her low register, though it still has room for development. Her low notes currently sound weak and airy, with less clarity in projection. For low notes, it is important for the vocal folds to come together with proper closure to produce a strong and clear tone. If they do not fully close or maintain sufficient pressure, the sound can become weak and breathy. In Moi's mid-range, her singing currently lacks depth, resulting in a somewhat shallow sound. She may benefit from more fully developing her chest voice and utilizing her resonators to add warmth and richness to this range. Despite the technical limitations, Mai further demonstrated good fundamental skills in her Into the New World performance, wherein she effectively modulated her vocal volume, adjusting it to create the desired effect. This volume variation enables her to convey better emotions, making her performance more compelling. The most notable aspect of Mai singing in this show is her progress in reducing nasality over time. Initially, her vocal performances sounded nasal, rough, and choppy, with excessive nasality causing her voice to sound pinched and lacking in richness.
네가 나보다 더 잘 나가. No, 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 no. 나.
This improper technique created a domino effect, making her sound restricted and less resonant. Additionally, her singing initially lacked fluidity and smooth transitions between notes and phrases. However, her later performances demonstrate her determination to improve, reflecting positively on the constructive feedback from the producers. While excessive nasality can detract from vocal performance, controlled nasal resonance can be advantageous. When managed properly, nasal resonance can aid in accessing high notes more easily and enhance articulation, adding clarity and vibrancy to the voice. Hence, I look forward to seeing Moi's continued progress in vocal technique. In Jimin's comfortable range, she demonstrates reasonable pitch control and a minimal sense of vocal support. However, she still needs to work more on fully engaging her core muscles or diaphragm to avoid sounding shallow. Despite this, her tone appears fuller with better volume output and vocal control compared to Coco and Mai. Jimin's singing approach is characterized by pulling her chest voice, or a heavy reliance on it, even when reaching higher notes, without appropriately thinning out. This is particularly observed in her Lavi and Rose practices. This creates tension in her throat and neck, limiting her vocal control and range and causing her voice to often crack and strain. As a result, her sound often becomes too loud, stuck, and sometimes flat. While it may initially seem powerful, pulled chest singing can produce an overly forceful sound. To further enhance her performance, Jimin would benefit from focusing on properly developing her mixed voice. This technique would help reduce the strain on her vocal cords when hitting higher notes, allowing her to sing more comfortably and openly without over-relying on her chest voice. This would also facilitate greater versatility in her singing. Additionally, improving transitions between notes and phrases is crucial. Her singing could benefit from smoother and more fluid phrasing. Developing better breath control and focusing on seamless transitions will contribute to a more cohesive performance. Furthermore, Jimin's vocals bring a different perspective to Izna, so I believe it would be beneficial for her to continue refining them. Sabi sings well within her comfortable vocal range. Her control inside this range is not merely about staying in tune, but also about adjusting how loud or soft she sings, and when she needs to breathe, which contributes to a more nuanced performance. This nuance refers to her delivery with attention to variations and details, demonstrating her skill in expressing the song. Her relaxed singing in this range means that she has some grasp of basic vocal control, leading to a decent starting point in her singing skills. However, like everyone else, Sabi still needs to work on properly engaging her diaphragm and core muscles more effectively to avoid sounding shallow.
what you say 이 아픔이 난 행복해.
This also applies to her low notes. Without the adequate support, her voice sounds weak and airy, especially when the notes are outside her comfortable range.
넌 나의 산소 숨차게 해 미칠 것만 같아.
Proper use of core muscles and diaphragmatic support is crucial for maintaining vocal stability, especially in challenging passages. The current technique used results in some difficulty with higher notes, as observed in her panorama chorus practice. When pushing her voice beyond its comfortable range, there is a tendency for the voice to crack, indicating a need for improved technique.
깊은 어둠 속 빛나는 별처럼 어디서든 서로를 알아볼 수 있어. 빛나는 별처럼 우린 어디서든 서로를 알아볼 수 있어.
To address this, focusing on developing a mixed voice technique would be beneficial, which involves blending chest and head voices to create a balanced sound, allowing her to reach higher notes more comfortably and with better control. While Sabi's overall technique is notably underdeveloped and she needs to make her singing cleaner and more precise when tackling challenging notes, ensuring her voice is well supported and resonates fully rather than just hitting the notes, she already shows better foundations and comfort in handling demanding notes compared to others. Her general projection still needs to be more open, but her willingness to open her mouth while singing is a promising start. With her current abilities and strong potential to improve, I see a huge improvement for her if given the right opportunities. While Sabi's raspy vocals would add diversity and create a more identifiable sound for Izna as a group, what needs to be recognized even more is that she could actually help strengthen Izna's vocal line with her strong bass and potential. Before we proceed to the next member, I would like to address a shortcoming in the previous Izna analysis video. In the disclaimer, I mentioned that the vocal analysis was generalized and that detailed insights would be saved for this in-depth analysis. Upon analyzing Izna more thoroughly, I realize I may have jumped to conclusions based on the generalized analysis, and I apologize for that. I admit that Sabi is not yet there, and I apologize for previously ranking her as the third best vocalist. I should have focused on highlighting her potential rather than automatically labeling her with a rank. However, I still believe she has strong potential to improve, especially if she is given more opportunities to showcase her abilities, as we still lack enough material from Island 2. While it's true that she still needs to develop her technique, her ability to give more detail to the song, her fearless voice projection, and her strong potential are the reasons why I would place her at least in the middle as lead vocalist material within Izna's comparative standards for now. Of course, this ranking is just my perspective, and like what we always say in our disclaimers, the analysis should be given more importance than the ranking. I understand that people have different standards and capabilities when it comes to critiquing vocals. I am also aware of various rankings, especially on TikTok, which made me cautious about the accuracy of my own assessment. However, knowing that some people agree, particularly those with knowledge in vocal pedagogy, reinforces my belief in Sabi's potential. I genuinely appreciate those who kindly provide constructive feedback, and look forward to continuing this learning journey. Thank you.
이대로 지나치지 마요. 너도 나처럼 날 잊을 수가 없다면.
Comparatively, Sarang shows an edge over the other members due to her lower level of tension with minimal sense of support. This enables her to produce sound with more ease and less strain than those who struggle with excessive tension. Additionally, her use of nasal tone when reaching high notes helps her access them more easily, indicating some level of control over her technique, though it is still not yet refined. However, this alone is not sufficient. Despite having less tension overall, Sarang tends to become tense and lose control in her higher range, as evidenced by the abrupt increase in volume. This tension can lead to overcompression of the vocal folds, particularly on higher notes, which is noticeable in her practice. Thus, Sarang has yet to improve her core engagement for proper support, like many others. Currently, she relies heavily on her throat muscles, which can create tension and potential strain. This reliance may lead her to opt for safer approaches on higher notes. For example, in her Lavi and Rose performance, she hit the notes during practice, albeit they sounded tense and lacked fullness.
언제든 깨어날 수 있게 내가 불러줄게.
To avoid cracking during the actual performance, she opted to use falsetto, which may indicate a lack of confidence and an uncertainty due to her inadequate technique.
언제든 깨어날 수 있게 내가 불러줄게.
The risk of voice cracks is actually higher without proper core support and diaphragm engagement, which can result in her needing to switch to falsetto for stability. Another instance is her For Walls performance. The lyrics contain 3 repeated ooh sounds, which she often cracked on during practice.
아름다워 우우 아름다워 우 아름다워 우우.
To cope with this difficulty, in the actual performance, she hummed the first 2 O sounds.
아름다워 우우.
This substitution from vowel to humming sound is likely an attempt to simplify the vocal line and helps manage her difficulty to avoid cracking, but it also reduces vocal clarity and proper projection. However, for the third oo, she reverted to the original vowel sound, and it really does lack the freedom. Improving her core engagement could address the lack of fullness and depth in her voice, even in her mid-range. Developing her dynamics and enhancing her ability to connect notes and finish phrases more seamlessly will also contribute to a more polished performance. Likewise, I found sarang quite stylistic. By relying heavily on stylistic elements without a solid technical foundation, she is putting undue stress on her vocal folds, leading her voice to crack. While sarang has better fundamental skills, she could benefit from further vocal training to take on more challenging notes and improve her agility. Proper lessons can help her refine her technique, allowing her to handle more complex vocal demands with greater ease and precision. Based on the show's display of her skills, sarang might play a significant role in the dance department. Thus, improving her diaphragm use could enhance her performance, allowing her to excel both as a dancer who sings and as a singer who dances effectively. Jungwon has solid foundational skills, with the most stable pitch accuracy and effective register transitions.
Drink beer with the guys. 아직은 아니야. 바보처럼 되는 게 수많은 아무렇지 않아 보여. 사랑은 killing your darling. 아프다 않으면 또 찾아오는 이 겁없는 떨림. 나와 낯선 끝을 갈 때.
Within her comfort range, she excels at delivering detailed notes with precise volume control, preventing sounding monotone. Her overall control ensures that her notes are well structured and not all over the place.
You don't run. Yeah, you don't understand. Oh, how it feels to love a girl.
Now, let's proceed with Jungwon's lower register. Pay attention to these.
젖은 종이 조각에 담아낸 나의 진심의 선녀 시작이 정화 가까이 온다 누가 묻고 날 완전하게 할 떨림 Say 어디에도 없는
If you were to analyze, how would you describe how she navigated them? Technically, some notes are airy and lacking in projection and clarity, right? This indicates that she has yet to refine this area due to the aspects needing improvement.
You get with who I wanted and I never get confronted for it. 서로 다른 일상을 살아가 그걸 놓친 넌 바보 you fall.
While her low register in general shows some breath support, it still requires improvement, especially for notes below B-flat 3. Effective use of the vocal apparatus, including engaging the lower vocal muscles and providing strong breath support, is crucial for maintaining sound quality in the lower register. If these elements are not engaged properly, the sound quality deteriorates as the pitch drops. It's important to note that while we often focus on improving high notes, we should also pay attention to our low notes, as they are equally important for a well-rounded vocal performance. Yet, it's good to know that Jungin can support her voice around the 4th octave. However, Jungin could benefit from opening up her voice more. She often sounds nasal and stuck, which can make her voice seem constricted or congested and lacking in depth and fullness because it doesn't fully utilize the entire vocal tract for resonance. On the good side though, there are moments when she sounds less nasal and not overly stuck compared to other performances, although still somewhat shallow. I hope she can become more consistent with this approach. Improving her technique in these areas can lead to a fuller, more resonant sound. In the 5th octave, Jongwon can hit and sustain more high notes due to her comparatively higher range than the rest of the Izna members. However, most of the notes are not well supported and tend to sound thin and lacking the power. As the pitch increases, her breath support also decreases, sounding her tensed. Higher pitches often require more air pressure to achieve the desired sound. If the breath support isn't strong enough, the increased demand for air pressure can lead to a collapse in support, causing the voice to become weak or unstable. This is evident in her panorama performance, where the pitch frequently exceeds her comfort range, causing her to force her voice too hard. While shallow support and nasality can produce a bright tone and assist her in reaching higher notes, they lack the richness needed for a well-rounded sound, resulting in a thinner, less resonant quality. Therefore, I hope Jongwon continues to develop her breath support and strengthen her core muscle engagement to enhance her vocal health. Furthermore, Jungyeon could benefit from further honing her technical skills, such as improving support in the upper register, refining agility for precise runs and riffs, and achieving more consistent transitions between vocal registers. Lastly, I want to acknowledge the additional informative comment on our previous Izna analysis video about the importance of developing vibratos in singing. This insight is particularly helpful for our main vocalists. As for Jongwon, it's true that she still needs to refine this aspect. While there is room for further exploration, this comment helps us better understand and appreciate the effort of not only Izna's main vocalists but also all members and singers, both professional and aspiring, in mastering another aspect of vocal technique. Hence, thank you to these users. Your contributions are greatly appreciated, not just by me as someone who is continuously interested in learning more about vocal pedagogy, but also by everyone who reads and learns from this exchange. Let's continue to foster this healthy exchange of ideas. All in all, I've said this before, but I'll say it again, Jongwon has limitless potential. Jiun's foundation as a vocalist is one of the top in Izna, evident in her pitch stability and awareness of when to breathe exactly between phrases. Listening to Jiun singing not below B-flat 3, she sounds quite pleasant, doesn't she?
Even just for a day, I will out of bed in the morning and throw what I wanted and go.
This clear projection indicates that she is comfortable with this note, showcasing her vocal control and support in the lower register. How about we lower the notes a bit, as in this particular example?
And I don't know
How would you analyze it? Let's listen again. Technically, we can hear that these notes lack clarity and definition. They often sound glossed over, lacking the precision, fullness, and richness that come from complete vocal cord closure. This airiness indicates a need for better breath support and vocal technique to achieve a clearer, more defined sound in this register. Overall, Jiyeon's low register needs more development. In her mid-range, her support extends up to A4. However, it diminishes beyond that point like these. While she does have some level of support, it is relatively shallow, impacting the fullness and strength of her voice. Consequently, her voice often sounds small, lacking power, openness, and detailed projection.
Here we are now, never calling for 우리의 끝을. 말만 하지 말고 느껴지게. 얼마가 돼도 기다리고 싶어. 처럼 다 들어가 버리라 우리 사랑.
This is due to insufficient breath support in higher ranges, inadequate core engagement, and tension in the vocal tract, resulting in a weaker, thinner sound. Additionally, like everyone else, I believe she needs to open up her voice more to achieve a freer sound. Without a free, relaxed approach, singers might generally reach for high notes by tensing their neck and jaw, leading to strain and even voice cracks.
Listen to
Ideally, singing should feel effortless without excessive tension. Additionally, working more on her mixed voice could help achieve a more balanced and controlled sound in this range. Besides, did you know Jiyeon also tends to sing with noticeable nasal sounds? While this isn't inherently bad, it can sometimes prevent her voice from fully opening up.
Love, what is love? 날 이렇게 만들어. 사랑해, 사랑해, 사랑해.
As previously mentioned, nasal placement can limit proper resonance in the mouth and chest, reducing overall projection and causing the sound to become muffled if excessive and not used correctly.
내일부터 너와 남이 되길 비는 내가 싫지만.
Moving on to Jiyeon's transitions to and from falsettos, they are not technically bad.
사람은 어머님이 누구야? 하지만 나도 누군가하고 사랑해. 멀리 가버렸다고 아직 난 못 지우지만 널 보낼 수 없는 나의 욕심이 집착이 되어 널.
Generally, this rapid change in muscle engagement can be challenging to manage, potentially causing breaks or cracks in the voice. The fact that her voice remains intact suggests she has a certain level of control. However, there is still room for improvement in precision. Overall, in addition to technical aspects, emotions, storytelling, and good tone play a crucial role. These elements, while subjective, seem to come naturally to Jiyeon, who connects deeply with the music. For example, in her cover of Eyes Nose Lips, Jiyeon's emotions are clear since the beginning, enhancing the engagement of the listeners.
미안해 미안해 하지마 내가 초라해지잖아 처럼 왜 손길 작은 손톱까지 다 모두 다.
A powerful emotional performance can sometimes draw the audience's attention away from technical imperfections. Her tone has a distinct identity, maintaining a consistent sound across performances. Moreover, she incorporates stylistic elements into her singing, adding further depth to her performance. While emotions alone cannot substitute technical skills, Jiyeon's passion for singing and music, evidenced by her role as an unofficial vocal coach for her fellow trainees, and her commitment to delivering outstanding performances, makes me optimistic about her long-term improvement and consistent performance quality with Izna as she continues to refine her technical abilities. It's encouraging to see that individually, the vocals of the Izna members are quite promising. While they may not be technically strong yet, based on their limited pre-debut showcases, most of them have good foundational skills that can be honed over time. Collectively, if we compare them to the vocal talent of other fifth-generation girl groups, they fall somewhere in the middle, not exceptionally strong but not weak either. Lastly, I want to express my gratitude to everyone who has supported our growth in vocal analysis. We started with only our experience in a singing group, without fully understanding all the nuances of vocal performance, especially within K-pop standards. We acknowledge that we are not perfect. But as we enter the second season of creating content, we are committed to improving. We remain open to feedback and eager to learn from our shortcomings. Thank you to the vocal coaches we've worked with, the kind individuals who have helped us enhance our understanding, the numerous insightful critics out there, and to you, our viewers, who have always been supportive through our journey. Your understanding and encouragement mean a lot to us. This has become quite lengthy, so thank you for watching. See you in our next video.